Hey, what's up, guys? So today we're going over the pros and cons of living in St. Augustine. All right, and we're getting after it right now. St. Augustine. St. Augustine is down south of Jacksonville. All right, it's technically outside of Jacksonville. It's south. So number one pro is that it is full of history. Okay, so apparently this town, St. Augustine, was founded in 1565. So it is classified as the oldest city in the United States, in America. So there's lots of history. So there's lots of things going on in that town that you can go see. You can check out. There's a lot of cool architecture. There's culture. You know, it's got that historic feel. Okay, so that for some people is a pro. I know for some people it's going to be a con. But for some people, that's a pro. All right. I like historical stuff. My only issue with the historical stuff is that I don't necessarily want to be living in an old house. However, older houses, kind of like everything else, older cars, older houses, they tend to be built stronger. Okay. That's not to say that the homes being built right now aren't going to last. They'll last, and they're going to be good. It's just you have that. However, then because of the way they were built, then it's unless you find one that has been rehabbed already. Because me personally, I like the open concept. So in an older home, I'm not going to find that necessarily. Okay, so just be careful of that. Just be mindful of that. Okay. Because when you are moving to St. Augustine, right, if you are looking, depending on whether you're looking to rent or buy, but if you're looking to buy, you got to be careful because the other thing too is that there are termites around here, obviously, so you could have termite problems. You know, you do have some of the other issues as well, bugs and all that stuff too. So with an older home, you just got to be a little bit more careful looking into that. But of course, if you hit me up, like always, my name is Ed Wheeler. I'm a sailor and realtor. So if you hit me up, call me, text me, email, snail mail, doesn't matter. Just hit me up, okay? Because I'm going to take you through these different houses. I'm going to take you on rentals. I'm going to take you on buying. We're going to discuss the difference between the two, what's best for you, what you don't like, what you do like, all of it. We're going through all of it, okay? And if you do, I mean, I've always got your back. I'm going to take care of you, like I said. And when it comes to these contracts, I'll explain everything to you. I try to make it very easy, okay? So we'll go through all of that. So don't be afraid of the history. If it's something that you like, then it's something that you like. If it's something you don't, then you don't like it. Okay. All right. So number two, pro to St. Augustine is it's very scenic. Okay. It's like right on the beach. So you have lots of beaches. You have the St. Johns River. You have parks. You have the weather. Yeah, okay. I talked about the weather. I've talked about the weather a few times, right? The weather it's kind of, how do I explain this the best way? So the weather, it's humid, it's warm. It can be rainy. It rains at least once a week, it seems like. But for most part, it's pretty sunny. So you've got this amazing area down here that has some of the best scenery you can find. And then of course having the beaches. Now granted, the water is not blue like you would see in Hawaii or anything like that, but it's still a beach and it's fantastic. I mean, how many times can you say that you live in an area that has a beach? It's just, it doesn't happen very often, right? So the scenic, you have a lot of scenic variety, okay? Then that rolls right into activities. You have so many activities because, you know, you've got all the historic stuff, you've got all the beaches, You're relatively close to a bunch of the other things. Like you can get to downtown Jacksonville. You are further south, so you're a little bit closer to Orlando. So your activities are widespread. You can go anywhere. I mean, and Orlando obviously has all Disney, has Universal, has SeaWorld, Legoland, I guess Peppa Pig Land or something like that too. So, I mean, and if you want to go fishing, man, the fishing out here is some of the best you will ever see. Okay. There's actually a spot even up here in Jacksonville where they call it what do they call it? What is it? The other Key West? Something like that. Because the fishing is so good. All right. So the sky's the limit. You have so many things to do. And because it's nice and sunny all the time and the weather's warm, you don't have to be stuck in your house bundled up all the time. So like get out, do some stuff, you know? Anyway, sorry. I got a little excited. All right. So then we're going into number 4. Number 4 pro is the schools. Just like almost everywhere else in Jacksonville, the schools are really good. St. Augustine has some of the best schools in the area. Normally people that are talking about this area, we don't go over the schools in St. Augustine. Well, I'm going to go over the schools in St. Augustine. We're going to talk about all of this stuff, in other videos. I'm just trying to hit all these pros and cons in this one, but we are going to go dive further when I do a vlog tour of St. Augustine. I'm going to show you the school. All right. But the schools are very, very good. And number 5 is it's safe. Yes. Obviously you have crime, right? You have crime everywhere, but it is safer than other places you've been. I mean, go to downtown San Diego. It's not going to be as safe as St. Augustine. Okay. If we're comparing, it's like comparing apples to oranges. All right. It's just, they're two different places. It's safe in St. Augustine. All right. Now, like I said, is there still crime? Yeah, of course. There's always crime because people are crazy, but take it with a grain of salt. It's going to be okay. All right. So now let's get into the cons. Well, before we get into cons, actually, like I said before, hit me up, phone number, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If this is the information that you want, I'm always going to be real with you. Just hit me up, okay? If you are PCSing here, a bunch of us are military. I'm military. I'm a sailor. I know what it's like to PCS. So hit me up, all right? Because I've got your back when doing that. Also, if you go down in that description, there's going to be a VA loan masterclass. Okay. I'm bringing somebody on, that's near and dear to my heart. He knows this stuff like the back of his hand. Okay. We're going over all the ins and outs of the VA loan, and trying to make it specific for Florida, even though it's more of a general topic. But I guarantee you're going to learn something new. So get in there, register for that VA loan masterclass. We're going to go over how many times can you use it? What can you use it for? What type of house can you buy with it? Do you need a down payment? All of this stuff, we're going over it, okay? So get in there, register for that masterclass, and I'll see you in there, okay? So now let's get into the cons. Cons. Number 1. Kind of goes with the history section, right? Because of the history, it's touristy. Okay. I'm not a big fan of touristy. I don't like a bunch of people around me. Okay. Which sounds weird because I'm a real estate agent and I try to take care of sailors. However, I just don't like being really, really crowded and being around a bunch of people that have never been somewhere before. Okay. Because when people are on vacation, it's like they're completely different people than when you meet them working. I hope that makes sense. Regardless, it's just me. I just don't like it. You might be like me. If that's the case, that's con, right? Of St. Augustine. Number 2 is the distance. So St. Augustine from Mayport is about 45 minutes to an hour south of Mayport. Okay, it's kind of far. So, and if it's 45 minutes to an hour south of Mayport, imagine what it's like to get to Nas Jax, which is over to the west. Okay, so keep that in mind if you're looking in St. Augustine. However, it is a good place for retirement, so keep that in mind as well. Number 3 is the cost. The cost, because of the schools, because it's touristy, because of that stuff, the cost is a little bit higher. All right. It costs. Also, you're on the beach. So if you live on a beach, you have great schools, it's touristy. What do you think is going to happen to the price of homes? It's going to go up, right? The demand is higher. So it's going to push that price up. So keep that in mind as well. Number 4, this comes up in every single place down here in Florida, okay? It's gonna be the bugs and animals, all right? You go outside, it's humid. You have these, what do they call them? The no-see-ums. They're like little gnats, right? That'll bite you. And next thing you know, you look like you got chicken pox. They're annoying as heck. But they can be an issue, all right? The other thing that Florida obviously is notorious for is cockroaches and palmetto bugs, right? So be mindful of that. My wife doesn't like the cockroaches. I mean, obviously I don't either, but when you're moving to an area that's notorious for it, you kind of just gotta be like, oh, okay. You know, there's things that you can do about it. You can get pest control. You can put the traps down for the cockroaches. It'll help, okay? Don't eat on the couch or, you know, and I know that's tough with kids. My kids do the same thing. It drives me freaking insane. But the bugs are real. The animals. The word around here is that every bigger body of water has at least one gator in it, okay? So just be mindful of that. If you've never lived here before, it's something that does come up. You also have snakes and stuff too. There's a lot of wildlife out there, especially here. So just, you know, be mindful of what's going on. Make sure you teach your kids about the stuff beforehand. I'm actually doing that as well with my kids. Just keep an ongoing thing, just teaching them over and over and over again. Look, there's some snakes that are fine and some that aren't, okay? So I just try to teach them all that stuff. Okay, so that's number 4. Number 5 is the population. So it's a smaller population in St. Augustine. Because of that, that can be kind of a pro or a con. I mean, like I said, it's touristy, so the population that actually lives there is smaller. And then you have tourists that come in all the time. But because it's smaller, it may not have as many jobs. Okay, so if you're looking for a job, St. Augustine might not be where it's at, but maybe you go to like downtown Jacksonville to get your job, and so you just commute. Now that depends on if you're okay with the commute or not. If you're military though, you know, you already have your job, so maybe it's a good spot for you. I feel like I would like it, but I can't do that commute. Okay, so that's why I don't live there. If I could do that commute, I would live there in a heartbeat. But that's just me. Okay, so there's your pros and cons of living in St. Augustine. And as always, my name is Ed Wheeler. I'm a sailor and realtor here in Jacksonville. And of course, hit me up, give me a call, text, email, snail mail. I don't care what it is. Just hit me up because I've got your back when moving to Jacksonville. And again, if you're military and you're moving here, get down in that description and